Hi everybody, we're going to do some yoga today and we're going to utilize our big stability ball. So please go grab yours and we will begin to do some nice limbering and rhythmic movement to warm up our bodies. And sitting on the ball right now, I want to make sure that everybody has their body a little bit in front of the highest curve. So you're sitting a little bit in front of the apex of your ball. And you're going to have a mat underneath your feet so you have some traction. And we're going to proceed to do a little bit of motion around the middle of our body, which is right here, just like a couple centimeters below our belly button. So we're going to swish our hips to start. And this will do a lot of great liquid motion for our spine and our hip sockets, but it'll also do a really good thing for our core and start to really activate it and turn it on. So we're swishing our hips and we feel the sides of our body, a little bit in the lower back, the sides of our waist. Those muscles are contracting so that we can hike our hips side to side. Then we're going to take our pelvis and we're going to tuck our tailbone under and we're going to stick our tailbone out. But as we do all these initial movements, make sure that your head is pretty quiet. Your upper body is a little bit quiet. It's all about from the ribs below kind of doing some motion. So we tuck our tailbone under, we kind of poke it out to the back, and we'll do 4 more of these. Really good for waking up our ab muscles. 1 more. Okay, and then we're going to take our pelvis and we're going to make a circle with it, almost like we're doing hula hoop. So we're going to make a circle. Really good for like loosening up maybe a stiff back or a tired back. Let's go the other way, making a perfect circle. And as we go through our workout today and our yoga, make sure that you feel good about everything. If anything feels overwhelming or uncomfortable or painful, you definitely will stop and do whatever you would like to do. So we'll be careful and honor ourselves this morning. Okay, great. Now the next thing we're going to do is rest our arms on the sides of the ball. And we're going to start to do a little side bending. Sliding our hands down the side of the ball while we kind of push the opposite hip to the side and make like a banana shape with our body. So we're stretching and contracting. Now we're going to stay to the left and we're going to just warm up this right shoulder for a second, kind of using our elbow like a pencil to the side of us, making a circle. And then we'll go the other way. And then we'll take this arm and we'll kind of reach it over our ear. And it doesn't have to be way over. It just needs to feel good, and you should feel some lengthening from your elbow all the way to your hip. And then we're going to do all of that to the other side. So we'll side bend first, fingers on the shoulder. We'll do our circle with our elbows. And we'll go the other way. And then we'll just take this left arm for a second and we'll really reach. It's even good even to have it vertical if that feels better for your spine or your neck. But you feel like a lengthening happening all the way down the side of the body. And then as we go side to side with these side bends, we'll reach our arm. And as we continue, we want to make sure we feel good. So if having your arm a little too far behind your ear is uncomfortable, you'll bring your arm forward of your ear, maybe even in front of your face. But we'll just do these like big yawns It's almost like you're taking a big yawn as you wake up from a night's sleep. We'll do 2 more and 1 more. That felt good. Okay, now hands on your thighs, and we're going to start to do some rotation. So we're just going to look over our right shoulder and kind of slide our hands on our lap. And then as we sit tall, we'll rotate to look over the left shoulder. And we're going to go back and forth. And hopefully feel like we're increasing how far we look back and we twist. And we're definitely using our eyes to look back as far as we can. And we'll do a couple more. And the last one. Okay, good. Now we're going to do cat and cows and take the whole spine from the top of our head to our tailbone. And we're going to do the cat while we exhale and roll the ball forward and round and contract our abs. And then we'll do an inhale as we roll the ball back, stick out our tailbone, and try to aim our chest up to the sky. So we exhale in the cat. We squeeze our shoulder blades together in the cow. We exhale in the cat. And we squeeze our shoulder blades in the cow. And we'll do a couple more of these. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And 1 more. Good, and we'll sit up nice and tall. Okay, just for this moment, I want you just to sort of bounce on your ball, but have really correct posture. So we have our sitting bones underneath us. We have our head over our shoulders are over our hips, and we're bouncing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good deal. Now we're going to turn to the right, and we're going to reach our left leg back so that we can get a little bit of a stretch. Not a really, deep, intense stretch, but a little bit of a stretch to make sure that we're not too tight in the front of our hips and our thighs. And we'll just look up the wall in front of us, and we'll take a couple of deep breaths. One more. Now we'll ease this leg in carefully, and we'll turn our hips as square as we can, because sometimes if your sacroiliac's a little out, you want to make sure that you're always nice and square with your body. Okay, and here we are, we're stretching the front of the right hip, and we just want to lift the rib cage kind of upward and take some nice healthy breaths. One more. Okay, now ease this leg in and try to square up before you turn so everything feels kind of good about that. And we'll just sit here and bounce just for a little bit more as we prepare to stand up and kind of stretch our calves. So we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, now please stand up. And you can hold on to the wall or hold on to a chair somewhere. But if you like to have your hands on the ball, it's going to stimulate your nervous system, and it's actually going to increase your muscle activity. That's why it's good just to buy a ball and sit on it, because it will make you work harder just to sit. So as we lunge back with one of our feet, doesn't matter if it's right or left, just make sure that you don't see your heel when you look back, and your knee is really straight, and your heel is pushing into the floor while you feel your calf get nice and long. And hold it for 3 deep breaths. And again, if you have your hands on the ball, it's making you work harder because it's wobbly. So that's good. Okay, now step together and do your other leg. So you'll lunge back and we'll make sure that we don't see our heel and our knee is really straight. And we'll hold this for several deep breaths because these really important stretches, you want to try to hold them for 30 seconds. We're probably a little close to that. Hopefully we are hitting that. And now the next thing I want you to do is to come down on your knees. It really doesn't matter which hand has a ball, but take your left leg forward and make sure that the ankle is directly underneath your left knee. And then I want you to drive your left knee over your left foot, but keep your left heel down on the mat. So we're just making sure that we can bend at our ankle. This is really important for just walking, making sure that you can bend at your ankle so it'll help your knee and it'll help your hip. And that will help your spine and all the way up. Okay, one more time. I'm kind of rhythmically pushing and pushing, and I'm going to switch. So I'm going to have my left ankle right underneath, and I'm going to drive my knee over the center of the foot, making sure I try to keep my heel down while I do this. And of course, this ankle is a little stiffer. My calf muscles are a little bit tighter on this side. So it's important that I tackle this because it is affecting my knee and my hip. So this will be helpful. We'll do 2 more and we will do 1 more. Okay, great. Now stand back up. And what we're going to proceed to do is have our hands lightly on the ball, take our legs wide, have our toes point forward, and do a little motion. I'll move the ball for a second so you can see that I'm bending my knee and I'm shifting my body weight to the bent leg, going side to side. But if you have your hands on the ball, you're going to work a little harder, burn maybe a little more calories. Everybody's got that on their mind as we're coming out of winter. We're getting closer to spring. I guess we have 3 weeks and we'll have our first day of spring. Okay, 1 more set. All right, good. Now stand up and get ready for tree pose. I'm just going to adjust my camera for a moment and shine it up a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have our left leg be our trunk, and we're going to have our right foot come on top of the ball very lightly. So I have this a little bit in front of my body. You don't want it to the side of you or to the back of you for sure, because you want to lightly put your right foot on top of the ball. Okay, so now I'm completely on my left leg, and I'm going to make sure I push my left big toe down, and I contract my glutes, and I engage my abs, and I bring my hands to my heart as I pick my spot to focus on. So this is called the Drishti in yoga. You're picking a spot to focus on with your eyes. And while we stabilize and really work with our left side, we're going to move our right leg like this. So I'm kind of warming up my knees some more, and I'm warming up my hip as I straighten the leg and I bend the leg. Straighten the leg and bend the leg. Again, straighten the leg and bend the leg. Okay, now I want you to straighten your leg and hold. Okay, I want you to push down right at your right ankle so that you feel muscles all the way up to your sitting bone of your right hip. So a lot of hamstrings and some glute muscles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now slowly bend your knee. Okay, I want you to take your arms into cactus arms. So you spread your fingers wide. You kind of goalpost your elbows. Okay, and every time we inhale, we slide our right leg out and we reach our arms up. And as we exhale, we pull everything in and squeeze our shoulder blades together on our back. So do that again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep your chest really lifted. 2 more. Squeeze your shoulder blades. 1 more. Squeeze your shoulder blades. All right, good job. We're going to carefully come down with our right foot. Maybe like shake out our left, because that was a lot of hard work for our left leg, but really good hard work for our left leg. All right, so now we're going to get our right foot underneath our right hip. Take the ball to the left. Carefully put our left foot on top of the ball. Remember, it's kind of in front of you, off to the side. Okay, and then we push our right big toe into the floor. We squeeze our right hip muscles and then belly button in as we stare at a spot. So the first part of this is to mobilize our left leg on the ball. So we're mobilizing, kind of really good for the knee joint. That's the main benefit of this, is your knee joint. Okay, now keep your leg lengthened and press from the back of your heel and the back of your ankle down into the ball. So you feel all the back of the leg to your sitting bone. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now bring that back. Remember, your foot is light. It's all about your right side. Okay, so make cactus arms. All right, now you could just stay like this, or you could move your left leg and reach your arms and then squeeze back in. Now, when I say squeeze back in, I'm talking about your elbows and your arms. So I gaze with my eyes and I squeeze my shoulder blades together. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then we'll carefully bring our leg down. And that was really good. And we're going to come towards the end of our mat. And we're going to lay on our ball, and this is sort of like child's pose applied to the big ball. So we're going to rest our body over the ball, and we're going to stay here and take some nice deep breaths. And these nice deep breaths, we want to push down into the lower part of our lungs. So like you should feel your belly push into the ball when you take a big inhale. And then you should feel your belly come away from the ball as you blow all the air out. So let's practice that 3 times. Good. Now I'm going to roll a little bit on the ball, but it's optional. When I roll forward with my head coming towards the mat and I come back, it kind of opens up the upper part of my spine a little bit more. It's kind of like hanging upside down, which is really good. So we'll roll a couple times. And then we'll bring our knees to the mat. Okay, good job. Now we are going to position our body so that we're laying on our stomach on the floor. Okay, as you come down on one of your hips, what you're going to want to do before you lay down is you're going to want to take the ball in between both your feet and both your ankles. Okay, this is sort of like a workout because you're going to roll over to your stomach and have the ball in between your feet and your ankles. Okay, and then you're just going to fold your arms, your hands on top of each other and put your forehead on your hands. Okay, and we're going to think about as we hold the ball, because really just holding the ball is like, wow, you feel your hip muscles and you feel your leg muscles. So maybe that's all you do this whole time is just try to hold the ball. It's a big object and it does weigh several pounds, okay? Or as you pull your belly button in and relax your shoulders, maybe you'll squeeze it. You'll have these little pulses where you squeeze the ball and relax. Squeeze the ball and relax. Okay, so that's another option. And then the final option is to lift the knees off the mat. So make sure your shoulders relax as you lift and squeeze and lower down. Lift and squeeze and lower down. Keep going. And let me just mention that if you don't have a ball, all you have to do is squeeze your heels together. Have your knees wide, squeeze your heels together, and lift your thighs off the ground. Okay, but everybody, we're counting down 4, and 3, and 2, and we're gonna hold the last one up, and we're gonna pulse it up to the sky. I know your hips are probably getting really tired, but hang in there. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, so we got to come back to child's pose. So you're going to work your way back up, move the ball around, or if you don't have a big ball, you'll just sit back towards your feet in child's pose. Okay, the biggest part of this right now is to stretch our back and that a little bit into the hips as we lay over the ball. So we're just gonna maybe move around a little bit and feel that stretch. Should feel good. And we'll take one more breath while we're kind of stretching. And then we'll come back. Okay, now I'm wearing socks, so I'm going to make sure that I have my feet all the way on the mat, and I'm going to curl my toes under. My legs are also, they're wide, so they're probably like 1.5 feet spread apart. I'm going to bring the ball to my hips, and I'm going to lay my stomach on the ball. I'm going to put my hands right by my breast and tuck my elbows into my side. Okay, so these are cobras. You're going to roll out on the ball while you straighten your legs and push your hips and squeeze your hips from the back and look up. And then you're going to exhale, come back to the knees. Okay, so it's like everything in the back of your body as you inhale, roll out. You're squeezing your elbows, you're squeezing your shoulder blades, you're looking up. And then you exhale, relax. Let's do 3 more. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. All right, very good. You can just hang out here for a moment, or you could sit back on your feet for child's pose. We're going to transition here to another position. Okay, and so this next position, we're going to be more lying upward with our front of our body facing the sky. So we will go ahead and work our way onto our mat, lie down, and just relax our legs on top of the ball. So literally my legs are just relaxed. And what I'm going to work on is my lumbar and my pelvis to wake up the deepest ab muscle I have in my body. That is super important for my back health, and also appearance-wise, it makes us look really flat and strong in our lower abdomen when we train correctly. So go ahead and put your hands lightly on your low stomach, and I want you to relax for a second. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to press your low back into the floor. Okay, so I want you to relax. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to kind of tuck your tailbone under and press your low back into the floor, and you should feel your hands sink into your body. So let's do that again. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press your lumbar into the floor. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press your low back into the floor. Now, adding on, relax, interlace your fingers, place your hands behind your head so your hands cradle the back of your head. As you look up to the ceiling, make sure you kind of see your elbows, okay? And as we inhale and we go to press our low back into the mat, exhale, I want you to lift your ribs so that your shoulder blades are just off the floor. Okay, and then come down and relax. So again, you're going to exhale, press your low back into the floor, float your chest up, and then inhale, relax. Again, you're going to exhale, come up, inhale, relax. Again, exhale, come up, inhale, relax. Do that one more time. Exhale, press your low back into the floor, lift so your shoulder blades are off the mat, and then do these little tiny lifts right here as you look at your knees. So we'll do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll relax on the floor. All right, very good. We'll take our hands and relax them down by our side. I want us to kind of stretch out our hamstrings for a second before we come up and do boat pose. So let's put the ball a little further away from us so that we have our arches of our feet cupping the apex of the ball. And what will happen is we'll start to slide the ball out with our right leg, but we'll point our left leg straight up to the sky. So we'll inhale, switch our legs, exhale, reach. Inhale, bend both knees, and then you'll exhale, reach. Okay, so this will help us do boat in a second. Boat is a pretty big position. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a couple more. Inhale and exhale. Oops, my sock is coming off. And one more. Inhale and exhale. And come back in. Now, walk the ball really close to you and grab your legs with your arms and pull your knees towards your chest. This will help out with boat pose too. Okay, I want you to lift your head and your chest and see if you can kind of touch your nose and your knees together. Really think about your abs being very strong. Okay, from here, we're going to roll to our side and we're going to come on up. So we're going to roll to our side and come up, and we're going to do some good stretches as we get ready for our wonderful boat pose. So the first stretch we'll do is this stretch right here where we have our elbow on the ball. The ball's probably a couple feet away from us. Just my elbows on the ball. And I'm going to lean into it so I feel a stretch underneath my armpit all the way to my hip. So you just stay here and relax. Maybe move your elbow a little bit. But remember, if anything's ever uncomfortable, maybe you do a little bit of it, but then you get out of it, because the human body is really good about protecting. So forcing yourself to stretch actually can make you tighter. So we have to kind of measure that as we work on our flexibility. Okay, so we're going to go to the other side. Part of what we're stretching is called the lats. The lats are pretty massive muscles, and the lats like to do this with your body. So if we stretch these right now before we do boat, it should help us round better. So that, at least that's our theory. We'll see what happens. But let's just relax and stretch this side and maybe move the elbow a little bit. Yeah, it feels good. Okay, so here we go. We are going to place our feet right like this on the ball. Okay, so you see me grabbing my thighs. I'm going to do that initially, and you can also do it the entire time. But as I position myself, I'm going to really tighten my waist. So I'm really pulling all my ab muscles in, and I'm trying to scoop out my stomach. Okay, so as we inhale, we bring our knees really close and try to touch our forehead and knees together. When we exhale, we're going to reach out with the legs and reach our arms for the boat. Okay? And you don't have to have a ball for this. I'm going to slip off my socks here. They keep coming off. So when we inhale, we kind of roll up. And when we exhale, we do the boat pose. So again, we're going to inhale, roll up like a ball. And then we're going to exhale, do the boat. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, exhale, boat. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale and exhale, boat. All right, very good. Bring your feet down. Have your legs wide and make sure that your toes are pointed up and your knees are pointed up. Roll the ball out onto your fingers and try to bounce your body towards the floor. So you're kind of thinking about your chest bouncing towards the mat. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now swing legs underneath you. Come up on your knees. So this is called thread the needle, or sometimes it's called half knot. So what we're going to do is have our left hand like this on the ball. Our right arm's going to thread across our chest. Have your palm up, and you're going to lay on your arm with your body. Okay, this is a big position for your shoulders. So if this is really uncomfortable, move your arm up or down. Make sure that it doesn't feel like it's a very sharp pain, kind of a hot pain. Once you find a comfortable, stretchy position, you're going to turn and look to the right with your eyes. And then we breathe, because breathing is the best tool that we have for muscles to relax. So nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales. And we'll take one more breath. And then we'll bring our body up and we'll do thread the needle with the other arm. So right hand here, left arm across the chest. Lay on your left arm. Each side's different, so you might have to position your arm a little differently so it's not ouchy. You definitely don't want to do ouchy. Okay, but when you find the good spot, you turn to the left with your eyes and stay here and breathe. 4 big breaths. 3 big breaths. And 1 more big breath. And then we'll slide this arm out. All right, great. So the opposite stretch, and we'll be done with the upper body pretty much, is to take the ball to the right, put your left hand underneath your left shoulder, bend your right elbow on top of the ball, and then try to push your right shoulder to the ground and look to the left. So you'll stay here, look to the left, stretch the front of your chest. This can be quite intense. So ease up a little bit if it's sort of like making you hold your breath. You definitely do not want to hold your breath. 4 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths, and 1 more deep breath. Okay, come up. Go to the other side. So right hand under right shoulder, left elbow is bent on top of the ball. I'm going to try to push my left shoulder towards the floor, and I'm going to look to the right. But I'm going to make sure that it's not too overwhelming, because I have to breathe deep. 4 big breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. Come on up. All right, fantastic. Okay, so we are going to sit on the ball. And we're going to sit on the ball, everyone, so that we have a lot of the mat in front of us. And maybe we'll swish our hips a little bit to get ready for this. We'll swish our hips a little bit. We'll maybe do a couple hula hoops. And we'll go the other way. Okay, and we're going to walk out till we have our head and our upper back on the ball. So we're going to walk out till we get our upper back and head on the ball. Okay, and then we're going to walk back till we're like doing a back bend. Okay, but it's our back bend. It's nobody else's back bend. So maybe reach your arms by your ears as you start to walk back so that maybe you see the wall behind you. But wherever you are, it's a big stretch for the front of your body. Wherever that is, it's a big stretch for your body. So just let gravity work on this. Really good for your posture. We're stretching our chest, our arms, our ab muscles. We'll hold this for 4. And we'll hold this for 3, 2, and 1. And we'll slowly bring our hips down, and we'll support our head and come up with our upper body, and we'll reach our arms and walk back. Walk back, walk back, walk back. And we'll sit on our ball and let our blood kind of even out a little bit from that big position. Maybe we'll bounce a little bit, but we're going to just let our blood settle. You know, having your blood kind of slosh up and slosh down. You want to give yourself some time for transition. Okay, very good. Temple pose, one of my favorite stretches and poses in yoga. Last thing. So temple pose, you sit in front of the highest curve. Your legs are wide. Okay, your ankles can be a little bit under the knees or a little bit in front, but your hands come to your heart. And you lean forward with your body and you put your elbows inside your knees and you drop your hands down to push your legs wider. But think cow pose while you're here. So try to stick your tailbone in the air and keep your chest up and breathe for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And then bring your body up. Relax. Pat yourself on the back. Thank you for taking time, joining me today to do a little bit of yoga with lots of good contracting and stretching. And I'm grateful for all of you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.